on the network.
Yes, indeed, it is the world-famous KJAG radio broadcast. We are live. We are coast to coast on iHeartRadio today. AM/FM, 247.com as well. 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world, including our good friends at KFRK in Edinburgh. Lots of good stuff happening today over there at JIGGYJGUAR.com. We are trying to get our website updated and get it put back together and make it look cool and get our app up and running, and we're doing all sorts of things, and I just don't have any time because I'm doing this show. So, Memorial Day weekend is upon us, and we are going to go to our next guest, we'll say. Joe Cotton is going to be with us here in just a few moments. You know about Joe Cotton. We talk about him all the time on this broadcast. He is tremendous, and we are going to talk to Joe here in just a few seconds. Here via the magic of the old Skip Skype, and I believe we've got Joe Cotton with us. Joe, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, can you see me?
I cannot see you. I'm sure that there's probably, it takes a few seconds.
I'm doing the wrong thing here, just a minute.
Usually it takes a few seconds for Skype to do its thing. You also might be able to hit the button at the middle of the screen. It looks like a camera, and that should be able to turn you on.
That should be able to.
Let me go in here and fix this so we can see you. There we are. Nice red tie today. Joe Cotton is with us. Now, of course, as you know, Joe Cotton is we are a great supporter of Joe's, and Joe's a great supporter of ours, and you can go over to cottonstocks.net. You can go there right now. Joe Cotton beats the pros at picking the stocks, and he does that each and every week. He has won the 2012 Dick Davis Dividend Stock Picking Contest. He's got a one-year return of 97% for his pick of MPC, which is Marathon Petroleum. Some of Joe's picks double in 2 months, like Viking Therapeutics, which was VKTX. And Joe's Market Newsletter is 48 issues. It is emailed each and every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern before the market opens. And each issue contains a market assessment, 5 to 7 stock picks with charts for each pick, and with trend lines drawn by Joe, one of the finest market technicians in the nation. And for a one-year subscription, you can go over to cottonstocks.net. You can also subscribe by mail as well if you're one of those kind of folks, which, I still like going into stores and buying products. I'm not one of these Amazon people. So there are lots of people that still like to subscribe by mail. And you can also download this week's newsletter for $7.99. You can do that at cottonstocks.net. And last week, we had a tremendous topic here with Joe. He picked, he just gives us, a stock each week, and he kind of explains to us how this works. And I'm getting a lot of emails from folks, a lot of phone calls from folks saying that they are learning how to navigate the stock market, and they are glad you are doing these segments. So I think that's great feedback, because heck, at least people are listening. That's what you want. So, Joe, what do you have for us this week, my friend?
Okay, this week it's usually the cotton stock of the week, but this week I'm gonna give two stocks.
Okay.
Now, your online, the people need to be in front of their computer, so we're going to get to the stockcharts.com stock page so you can see what these two stocks are that I'm picking.
Yes,
so
yes.
You go to www.stockcharts.com.
Yep.
And when that screen comes up, at the top, it says enter a symbol or a name. We're going to put in ALT as the symbol, ALT, which is for Altimmune.
Okay.
Now the chart comes up in candlesticks, and I don't like to look at that, so
is there a particular reason why you don't look at it through candlesticks?
Well, it's so it's so disjointed.
It looks so erratic on your screen. It looks like Looks like one of those heart monitors that you see in the hospital.
Well, it's a Chinese. These are actual candlesticks, and they have Chinese names for them, and I just don't like it. I don't. A lot of people use it, but I don't. But anyway,
That's awesome.
over
That's awesome.
On the left side of the chart, below the chart, it says type candlesticks. Now I changed the candle. You click that little button. I click it and make it an OHLC bars chart.
Okay.
And then below that, I make the volume separate to get it off the page.
Okay.
And then to the right of the type of chart, it says size. I make my charts 460. And below that, to the right of the volume, it says log scale. I uncheck. Can you hear me?
Yep, I've got you, my friend. I'm just following along with you.
I'm sorry. I unchecked the log scale. I also unchecked the y-axis labels part.
Okay.
Now I go down below that where it says indicators. I make the first one, instead of an RSI, I make it an MACD. And then the one below that, I make it a chalk and money flow. And the one below that, I make a Williams percentage R. And now you need to click the button for the update, and you'll see that chart is in a easier to read sequence. Now, I didn't uncheck the y-axis labels. So now this chart is you need to make the chart, where it says the range, you need to make it 6 months. So if you click 6 months on that chart, you'll be able to see can you see that by any chance?
Yep. I've got you. We've got you up on the screen, and I'm following right along with you on my desktop here as well.
Okay. So that you can see that stock went from, in December, it went from probably $10 a share up to $24 a share in mid-February. And it's kind of filtered back down, and I think it kind of bottomed a couple of days ago at $12, about $12 a share. Now, this company, let me tell you a little bit about the company, which is why it's an interesting stock.
Okay.
They have 2 drugs in clinical trials, and today the stock closed at $2.89. Now, they have a drug for what's called NASH, N-A-S-H, which stands for non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. And they also have, and apparently their drug has got some real merit to it, and it's liable to be approved, which would be a big deal. It also helps people to lose weight, which would be another big deal. Now, they also have a COVID-19 drug in first phase trials, and their COVID-19 drug is a single-dose intranasal vaccine candidate. It's being evaluated in a phase 1 clinical trial. It's designed to stimulate a broad immune response, including both systematic immunity and local immunity in the nasal cavity and respiratory tract. Now, the great thing about this is the person doesn't have to have a shot to take it. They just give them a swab in the nose and the nasal cavity. Yeah. Also, this can be stored in refrigerators. It does not have to be stored at very low temperatures. So they can store it in doctor's offices or pharmacies for up to 2 years or more, which is a really good item. But in the recent study that they're doing, they said in a pre-clinical study that this Ad-COVID, the product they have, it neutralized the South African B.1.351 variant. So that's really important news. The stock moved up just a little bit, but I think it's a cheap price for what they have on board for all their for the 2 drugs that they have. Now, when you go to the top of the page, we're going to talk about another stock, and the other stock is put in ABNB at the top of the chart. ABNB. Now, this is Airbnb, which it used to be called Air Bed and Breakfast.
Yes.
And it came out, and you need to use the same 6 month chart. It came out in December of 2020. At the very bottom of the chart where it says 70, if you go across 70, it came out, it was priced at $68 a share, but it opened up at $146 first day of trading. So you would have doubled your money if you happened to be lucky enough to buy it at the IPO price.
Okay.
Now the stock went up to $220 a share in February, and then it kind of faded back down. What it did is it really made a triangle formation there. It was a 4 month triangle consolidation, and then it broke below that at about 63 and went down to $130 a share. We think it's a great buy. We recommended this stock back on May 17th at $141.20. Now, this stock, you can see it made a little consolidation pattern down there. And what happened was it started to move today, and we bought it. We bought the stock today at $137.53, $137.53 at 9:47 this morning. Well, the stock moved up very strongly, and it got up to, let me see what it got up just a minute. It got up to $143.82 today. So that's a really large gain. And this Airbnb, you can go to their website, and what you do is you book reservations for either a single night stay in a house or an apartment, or even luxury villas. But this was a really hot stock, and it was recommended yesterday. I'm trying to think who recommended it. Anyway, they gave it a $170 price target. We think it's going to go back to $220 a share. And we bought it today, and we made money trading it, and then we sold it. We don't own it right now, but we think it's a great stock. We might buy it back tomorrow. So those are my stock picks. Do you have any questions about those stocks?
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that I was really interested in finding out more on is what you just said was what was very interesting to me, where you would buy it, make some money with it, sell it, then maybe buy it tomorrow. That interests me. Explain that a little bit more. You're the expert, my friend. Explain this to me.
Okay, now here's the thing. Really, when I bought it at $137.50 or $137.53, I should have just backed away and left it alone, because it broke out on, if you look at the volume on that chart, you can see it was 20 million shares today.
Yeah.
A big volume surge. It came out of that consolidation and broke the trend line on the top part of that consolidation on big volume. So, a good trader, a less impatient trader, probably would have just bought it at $137.50 and let it go for a while, because it's gonna, I'm sure it's gonna be up tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So
yeah,
when I sold it, there's a risk that I can't buy it back at what I sold it for. So that's the risk you take. But I'm a trader, so I like to trade. So
well, you brought that up, and I'm like, this sounds interesting, because he bought it, he made some money with it, then he sold it. So I was just trying to figure out, the insight onto that whole thing.
Well, people make a lot of money trading on a daily basis. I mean, you have to watch, you have to be at the stock at your computer, and you have to be a member of either Ameritrade or Fidelity or somebody. But Ameritrade has got a trading software called Thinkorswim, and I really can't day trade without it. You have to have this software
Yeah.
to be able to tell where the stock is at every minute of the day. And you can see the huge volume. When I first bought it, there was huge volume on the upside, and that was just beginning, was coming out of consolidation. So now, do you remember the stock we recommended, I guess, 2 shows ago, which was Fubo TV?
Yes, Fubo TV.
Do you remember, just a minute, do you remember at what price we recommended it?
No, I do not.
I think it was probably at 21. Maybe it closed that day at 20 or 21. Well, today it's up to 26. And it's terribly strong. And, this is a stock that can also, I think it's going back to 60. It used to be 60, it used to be $60 a share. And if the people on Reddit, and they say that it might be catching their attention, they're the ones that buy stocks and create a short squeeze.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of short,
yes.
there's a big amount of shorts in this stock. And there's only, I think, about 60 million shares on the float. So it's kind of a thin stock with a huge amount of short interest. So, and they came out with great earnings. So, and I think they can actually make the stock go to 120, but I think it's going to get back to 60 anyway. That's the Fubo, F-U-B-O.
I think that's great. You
might go back and look at that stock. It's an interesting stock.
You can get a lot of this insight and a lot of these great picks and things like this when you go to cottonstocks.net. Of course,
I have to say one thing. I don't mean to interrupt you. I need to say,
go ahead.
Anything I say is not investment advice, and it's not to be construed as investment advice.
Yep.
My stock picks are primarily chosen by stock charts and technical analysis.
Yeah.
But I do have a good financial background, but nothing I say is to be taken as financial advice.
Well,
that being said.
Well, and that's the thing I love about you, Joe. You can buy his fabulous money-making 1-year subscription, which is 48 issues, for only $199. It comes with a risk-free 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. And he has rarely had to do the money-back guarantees. For a 1-year subscription, you can go to cottonstocks.net. And, Joe, you are the man, my friend, when it comes to stocks. You know what you're talking about, and you're pretty amazing. Your past performance is no guarantee of future results, but you've got a lot of great things going on. So with Monday being Memorial Day, being a holiday, you'll send out the week's newsletter on Tuesday, correct?
Right. Let me tell you one more thing.
Yes.
A lot of traders that are real traders, the sophisticated, experienced traders, most of those people close out their positions on Friday. They do not hold their stocks over the weekend because there's a chance they can go down substantially. Some news comes out or the market starts down. You can, if you bought a whole lot of stock on Friday and the stock was way up, you don't want to hold that over the weekend. First of all, you have to worry about it all weekend. And secondly, there's a chance there could be, news in the market or the market just sells off and you can lose a lot of money. One weekend I lost $10,000 just because I didn't sell on Friday.
Because you didn't get out.
Money, the stock opened way a lot lower and I lost $10,000. So
wow.
On any big position, I don't hold it over the weekend. I sell on Friday.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah, that is it's great insight because I love the fact that you're like, well, if I would have sold this, I wouldn't have lost $10,000.
That's right.
That is amazing. Well, Joe, your next week's newsletter will be out on Tuesday, correct?
Tuesday morning, that's correct, at 8 o'clock.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, Joe, thank you for doing this. You always have some tremendous insight, and it's the little things like you just brought up there, where you're like, well, If I would have held on to it over the week, I wouldn't have lost $10,000 on the weekend. So it's wonderful little insight like that I love about these little segments we're doing.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it.
Yes, definitely. Well, good luck with everything, and I will talk to you next week, my friend. Have yourself a good holiday.
All right, sir. Thanks again.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. There he goes, Joe Cotton. He is the man when it comes to stocks. Go over to cottonstocks.net for more information. And